Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast, your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Stuff and Things Podcast. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss the latest episode of The Walking Dead, it's Stefan.
I am here. Hello. Hello everybody.
You are here, yes. You're here. You're here in body, if not mind. Stefan's not well, everyone. Get your violins out.
I have man flu.
Yes. Not COVID, it's man flu. It's far
I've done
more
all the
serious.
relevant tests, yeah.
Yeah, far worse. I'm sorry, buddy. I hope you feel better soon. Sorry to drag you from your pit to do this.
That's fine. I actually set an alarm to get out of bed to be able to come and record, and then I'm going back to bed, so it's fine.
It's a busy day for you. That's good.
Commitment.
It is. So we're going to kick off this podcast just to chat about a few different things before we dive into the episode. So first things first. Obviously, we're talking about The Walking Dead season 11, episode 7. Title of the episode:
Promises Broken.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about today.
Yes.
Next week on Wednesday, we'll be talking about the season 11 part A finale, which will be episode 8.
Yep.
And then the following week, we will be going straight into Walking Dead Wednesdays continuing. We are going to be talking about The World Beyond, which has now debuted in the US and is available on Amazon Prime in the UK and across Europe.
Now, I'm not the only one to say there was no advertisement for this whatsoever.
No, I mean, I even put a tweet out. Obviously, we don't have a massive following on Twitter, but I did get a few people and a couple of messages as people going, I had no idea. So, probably in the US...
They're so aware that the first season was crap. They're like, just don't tell anyone, just bring it out. Just shh. Just release it. Just release it.
I'm not sure they have that opinion, to be honest with you. I'm guessing in the US... If you're watching on AMC have advertised the crap out of it. And also, episode 8 of The Walking Dead has aired on the AMC Plus in America. So therefore, anyone who's watching on that platform would have got to see episode 8 of The Walking Dead and episode 1 of season 2 of The World Beyond on the same night.
Okay. So
I'm guessing they've done it back to back and they've tried to cross it over as much as they can. Now,
The UK, they're like, nah, screw them.
Yeah, that's the basic gist of it. So basically, on this show, by the time The Walking Dead's finished and Walking Dead Wednesdays are behind us, I believe we're going to have 2 episodes to discuss, possibly 3, but I think 2. So either way, that first show is going to be a catch-up. So we're going to discuss the episodes that have already aired, all in that one first show. So whether it's the first 2 or the first 3... the first Walking Dead Wednesday, and then we'll be back on track 1 episode per week. Walking Dead Wednesday will continue to roll. Now, in addition to Walking Dead Wednesday, next week, we're also going to be the return of Marvel Monday. Marvel Monday, we're going to be discussing What If. It's the animated show on Disney Plus.
Yes.
And based on what's being said now, it would appear, despite the fact it's being animated, it is actually crossing over and it is actually playing a part in the MCU on a larger scale.
Yeah,
so
it's actually canon.
Yeah, so we're going to be discussing that, discussing the episodes that have gone on, also probably discussing other things we'd like to see What If. just other changes. But that's going to be the show, Marvel Monday. That'll be next week. But yeah, so look out for that if you're interested in all things Marvel. Keep your eyes on our Facebook page where we'll be putting out posts letting you know what's coming up on the show. Mm-hmm. But back to today, back to season 11, episode 7 of The Walking Dead. It's Walking Dead Wednesday, and let's talk about this. So,
we have been blessed. We've actually been blessed. There's been 2 good episodes in a row.
To be fair, I think season 11's been pretty good.
It's actually not been too bad. To be fair to it, it's not been bad.
I think 7 episodes... obviously you're always going to get slight lulls and you're going to have differences of opinions over different things, but I think this has been the best continuous 7 episodes for some time.
I mean, it kicked their 6 bonus ones into touch, so that's for sure.
Oh yeah, they're not even in that's not even in the same conversation. That's like comparing Mozart to Dario G. It just doesn't. Yeah. It's not in the same conversation. So the cold open to the show is Negan and Maggie agreeing a deal. So I want to just highlight this in isolation, because obviously we're going to break our show down into talking about Daryl and what's going on with him, Negan and Maggie and what's going on there, and obviously Eugene and the crew with the over with the name's gone clean out. I was going to say the Confederacy, but that's really wrong.
The Commonwealth?
Yeah. What? Why would my brain go to Confederacy? That's not good. But yeah, so the Commonwealth, we're going to catch up with them there as well. So we're going to open up with just this in isolation. I found this cold open really quite interesting. What about you?
Yeah, it was something we've mentioned a few times. Like, they're going to have to talk about all this at some point. It's going to have to all come to a front, and something's going to have to be said. Yeah. And then when it is all said, we're kind of like, oh, okay. Huh.
Well, I mean, just focusing on the cold open, because I know they have a conversation later on, which we'll come on to. But in the cold open, it's basically Negan saying, if you want me to stick around, and let's face it, you need me, either just to carry food or to fight people, then you're going to have to make a deal with me. And that deal is, you're not going to kill me.
Yeah, we're evens, he says, isn't it? We're evens. And it's like, well, I mean, evens is a stretch.
It's an interesting thing, though, and I know we've discussed it at length. Now, the Negan character, I have a problem with what they did with the character, okay? Now, the problem, I've talked about it loads. I'm not going to go down that road again. We're just going to focus on the conversations that are in front of us.
Yeah.
When it comes to how Negan killed Glenn and killed Daryl in retaliation for what else goes on, and I know this is a conversation later on, and I really want to dive into it, so I won't go down there now.
Yeah.
Just focusing on that aspect of it, when Negan's looking at her saying, we'll be even, there's got to be an element. I mean, I certainly had an element of look at this going, yeah, probably. But
yeah.
What are you thinking? I mean, if you were being cold-hearted and you were just looking at it like a scoreboard, to just kind of like, yeah, okay, I see where you're going with this. You know,
far I've saved your life 2 or 3 times, and now you basically want me to walk into suicide for you.
Yeah, you know, literally in the last episode or the one before, saved their life twice right in front of us. Now, you could argue that there was the episode before where he basically let her die, or was gonna let her die.
Yeah,
But again, context. She had literally just told him she's gonna kill him. So you gotta put. It's so. The reason why I think I'm enjoying these episodes so much is because it reminds me of being back in like season 1, season 2, when you had Shane and Rick, and you had that kind of like, I do understand what Shane's saying here. He's being an ass about it, but I do get what he's saying.
Walking through the woods, pointing a gun at Rick's head.
Yeah. Season 1, yeah, definitely. But there's situations in this where, and I love that. I love that in my TV shows, that you can get characters and you can get situations that you can genuinely see all sides, and you can genuinely understand the mistrust, and you can understand the emotion and the raw emotion. Because like, from Maggie's point of view, it doesn't matter about the score, but it doesn't matter about being clear-headed and thoughtful, saved their life. Nothing's going to change what he did. Like, nothing is going to bring.
She
Glenn
found
back.
love, and he smashed its head in.
Yeah. That sounds like the start of an Adele song. Yeah. Maybe I'm listening to the wrong Adele. But it should be. It should be the start of another. I found love, and then I smashed its head in. Yeah. Or a good country and western song, anyway. Someone out in Nashville writing it right now. The Ballad of Negan and Maggie. Me too. But so genuinely, you can completely understand her point of view, which is, no, raw emotion. I can't even look at you.
Yeah.
And so it's good. I like that. I like the fact that you got 2 actors who I think are doing a great job portraying the two characters they got on the screen, the 2 emotions, the kind of, and like I said, we got that conversation which we're going to talk about later on, because I loved it. I thought that was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so cold open, we have this deal, and they do shake on it, and he even says, in front of the priest, in front of Father Gabe and God.
And I love that. Just like, come on.
You're going to shake my hand. But the episode's actually called
Negan
Promises Broken.
Yeah, Negan says, give me your word, and then they shake hands. There was a little part of that where I'm like, she didn't say it.
No.
She shook his hand, but she didn't say it.
No, there's a promise, and the title of the episode is Promises Broken, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, little Frankie foreshadowing going on there. So we got the 3 different arcs. I want to leave Negan and Maggie to the end.
Okay.
So let's open up with, which I think is probably the simplest one to go through, and that's Daryl.
Okay.
Daryl and the Reapers, Leah spots a patrol returning, and Pope just tears into them because they've not been able to find Maggie. Leah kind of steps in to kind of take the brunt of that and to calm him. And in, I don't know, retaliation is the right word, but in kind of temper, he sends her and Daryl out to do the next patrol to look for them.
Yeah, so already I'm thinking back to the last episode where he's like, I got all the information that I need.
Yeah.
And Daryl's still walking around as if nothing's happened. So I'm like, well, obviously the guy didn't give up Daryl then.
No, the guy obviously didn't give up Daryl, or we're getting to that. I don't know, it's difficult because the guy either gave up Daryl and Pope is being more calculating than his temper would suggest he can be.
Yeah.
You know, because he seems very... If he doesn't like you, you'd know it kind of guy.
He
know?
stamped on a guy's back to burn him in a fire, you know what I mean?
Yeah, someone who he described to others as a brother, you know, and he literally stomped his head into the fire for not doing what he wanted him to do.
Yeah.
Or perceiving him to have not done what he thought he should do. Now, the other thing I find interesting in this situation, me and you have talked about this with the Whisperers and kind of like Alpha, and this kind of like diminishing, you know, lady, very scary, you know, very scary woman. But you looked at Beta, you looked at some of those other Whisperers, and you're like, seriously, if she tells you what to do and you don't want to do it, there's no way she's making you.
Oh, yeah.
And but she ruled them with an iron fist, and they were terrified of her. Do you get the impression with Pope that he kind of rules with an iron fist as well? Because, let's face it, he's ruling a group of highly trained mercenaries.
And they outnumber him like a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, for him to stay in charge, he needs to be righteous, you know, his whole God thing. And he also needs to be kind of...
I'm in charge.
Yeah, above reproach. Like, if I tell you to do this and you don't do it, you're dead. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I always find it interesting. Like, the military unit, you know, if you had a superior officer do that and someone shot the superior officer, they'd be acquitted. You know, it'd be kind of like, yeah, he was a psychopath. You were right. So it's kind of interesting. But then you always have to keep in your mind that we're 10 years into the apocalypse. Yep. So, you know, we saw last week with those crazy-ass people locked in that house, how
don't
savage... Yeah,
don't
I know.
Remind me.
Did you like the GIF I used for the ring on Twitter?
Yeah, very apt, yeah.
Yeah, coming down the stairs, yeah. I just spotted it, I was like, yep, that's going in there. But yeah, sorry. I digress to scare myself again, but it just... mentality-wise, it's like they've got so far down the road with him, they're still alive, so it's kind of like we're not going to question him. But
yeah,
really,
makes sense.
But really, you'd think their military training, their military background would have them going, this doesn't feel right. You know?
But would it? I mean, if they are that like military focused,
yeah,
they do as they're told. They get orders. They do as they're told. Do they need a figure to follow? Because they are so military ingrained that they are literally waiting for someone to follow.
No, you actually probably are hitting the nail on the head, which is they've got nothing else now. You know, the apocalypse happened. They got no family. They got no friends. They got no homes left. So what do they have? They have their training and they have a leader, and the leader says do this. So you've probably hit the nail on the head. That's probably what it is. But the thing that kind of like is strange, like Leah's explaining to Daryl that literally the reason why there was a confrontation is because they wanted what Maggie and that lot had, so they took it, and now they're hunting them all down to kill them, so they never come back. And you can see Daryl's kind of like Cog's kind of like, really? Kind of like you're literally just hunting them to death because you want to make sure they don't come back. I'm again on this, like, the military kind of thing. Now, they were a military unit, they became a mercenary unit, but even a mercenary unit wouldn't have been like that. So this is kind of like his, like I described him as like a religious cult, didn't I? Like,
yeah.
He was kind of like a cult leader. It kind of feels like that I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people who have served in the military, from family to friends and stuff, and they always describe it as service as a protection. Mm-hmm. Like, they were a soldier and they thought every time they had to take a life, they weren't thinking about the life they were taking, they were thinking of the life they saved.
Yep.
So for a military unit to be just straight up, all right, we're going to take this place because we need it, and we're going to murder everyone, women, children.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just doesn't sit right to me. It's like, it's just something doesn't work for me there. But at the same time, like I said, you got to factor in the 10 years into the apocalypse and this guy who seems to have them all under this cult-like spell.
Well, yeah.
But in this episode, do you think there's a crack between Leah and Pope? Because I kind of feel like that's what Daryl's hoping for, and that's what Daryl's hoping to exploit.
I think we see that in the house.
But I'm not convinced it's as big a crack as Daryl thinks there is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think he's still kind of hoping on the inside that she's going to turn into part of the Alexandra or something. He's going to take her back and be like, look what I found. Yeah. And then he's going to see Connie and be like, awkward.
And then ride off with
Maggie.
Carol.
Yeah, so Carol, sorry, yeah.
Here's the issue again with this, and I know we've said this before, and I apologise. But we know Daryl's not ending up with this woman. So she either dies or she goes off or something, but we know he doesn't end up with her. So
we don't know for sure she's not in the spin-off.
We do.
Do we?
Well,
we know it's Daryl and Carol.
The spin-off has been described as those two characters going off on their own and encountering new people. So it's literally they're going to be the only characters people know.
Oh, okay. So it's not going to be like Daryl and Carol and co.
No.
Oh.
No, they are literally riding off into the sunset together. And there's a whole faction of fans who are delighted about it. But my issue with, it's not for me. And that's fine. Yeah. And other people can watch that show and are going to enjoy it. And that's great. And I'm pleased for them. But I'm genuinely of the opinion here that it should not have been announced. Because every time Carol's in danger, every time Daryl's in danger.
Oh, yeah, there's no
situation,
fear. Yeah.
In this situation right here, we know this woman's dead, basically. I mean, I think she's dead. I think Pope's going to kill her because she turns on him, and then Daryl's going to kill Pope. Or Daryl's going to be forced to kill her, one or the other. But there's no way this woman walks away from this. Because you can tell that Daryl still holds her in such high affection that if she did come back to Alexandria and they were dead, they'd be together.
Yep.
So, and we know that can't happen. It is frustrating. It is very frustrating because I lose myself in these episodes sometimes because they have been very good. And then something like that happened and my brain would go, I wonder what's going to happen and what is this going to be? And then I remember and I'm like, well, that can't happen then.
Yeah, I'll ignore that. Yep.
Yeah, so I do find that frustrating. But yeah, they meet up with this guy when they're out on their patrol. The guy sort of hands up, claims his wife's hurt and he's got a child and he's just trying to find some food. And
he wasn't, to be fair to him, wasn't lying. Now that in itself is a surprise.
I'm glad you said it. I'm like kind of like watching this and I'm basically applying the theory that 10 years into the apocalypse, no one's that pathetic. This guy blatantly got a group waiting to ambush them. He's got a shotgun behind his back. His wife's not really hurt. He doesn't even have a wife, probably doesn't even have a kid.
He's got a group of 20 blokes with machetes waiting in a shed. Yeah. Yeah,
so to see that it was genuine was a real shock. I didn't think you'd find people like that anymore. Out on their own,
Like, how is he alive? Like, he's the proper snivelling, like, no, don't hurt me.
Yeah.
How have you survived 10 years?
Yeah, you're bang on. I have no idea
I can guarantee I last about a month. How the heck has he lasted 10 years?
I mean, based on the plans I have, I think I'll last longer, but that's not through.
I'm an asthmatic with a dodgy knee, dodgy ankle, and First zombie
Yeah.
chase, I'm in. I
Yeah.
topped myself at the end of it. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. It's definitely a standing fight situation for me. There ain't no running.
Yeah.
If it's World War Z zombies, I'm gone.
If it's World War Z zombies, I've taken myself before they have the chance.
Bang on. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, brother. So they do follow. His wife is hurt. She's dying. Clearly, the child's there.
Yep.
And Leah has been ordered to kill them. And that to me as well was interesting. That was kind of like, again, where's the military protection instinct? Where's that? That's completely vanished. And he's he's so callous. Oh, end them, kill them. They're in the way.
They're no good to us. Get rid of them.
Yeah. Just what the hell? I don't. That just feels so far away from what I'd expect. So Leah goes in there, and of course she sees the woman's genuinely hurt, and she just tells the guy and the son to run. I don't know about you, but I'm fully expecting them to see them next week. Another patrols pick them up.
Oh yeah, they're coming back. That's a bite in the ass moment. That is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting that. So that's sort of the sidebar.
It'll be like Pope that finds them in front of Leah, and he'll be like, "But you told us to run." What?
Yeah. What? Boom. What did you think about the moment where the woman was like thanking them? I'm ready. And Leah holds the shotgun up, but then can't do it. Tears in her eyes.
Now, I had two thoughts on this.
Shoot.
Number one was, wow, imagine being in that stage where you're like, thank you, they weren't going to leave me. It was going to be dangerous because I know I'm going to die.
Yep.
I mean, geez, that's a heck of a situation to be in.
Yep.
Number two, shotgun from that range, that is making a hell of a mess.
Big time. Yeah.
Like, my gosh, that's gonna decimate, like, oh, that would be awful.
Yeah.
So fair play to Daryl for doing the quick and easy way, because the shotgun from there, that would not have been nice.
That wouldn't have been pretty.
And at the same time, the family, the boy and the husband were still running away. They would have heard a shotgun, they wouldn't have heard a crossbow.
No. But don't you... The thing that I sort of like, the emotion on her, you're kind of like, you're not that far gone. You are not where Pope is.
Yeah.
So why are you behaving that way? I don't get it. So that was one thing. And the other thing was, how freaking ice cold is Daryl?
Yeah, just like, yep, bang. Oh, okay.
Yeah, when that guy needs it, like Rick in season 1. Season 2. I've been rewatching the show with my daughter, and there's the bit where Carol's daughter comes out of the barn, and all of the badasses, Rick and Shane and all that lot, who've been killing all these walkers, T-Dog, Andrea, they've all been like big and bad killing walkers, and they see it and they just crumble.
Yeah,
all of them are just in bits. They can't do it. They can't do anything. They're crying. And Rick like pulls out the hand cannon, steps up, boom, gone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Daryl in that moment, just she's dead, and when she dies, she's going to turn. So this is the right thing to do.
Yeah, he done what was needed.
Yeah, bang, gone. She's gone. The fact he did it so cold, I was kind of like, damn. Well, wow, Daryl. I mean, she says, I'd tell him that you killed them all.
It will look good for you or something. Yeah, I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah, that's... I mean, Daryl at this point, seeing the emotion on her face, goes to try and talk to her. I'm guessing he's going to say, look, I've got to tell you something. And then she gets the radio that they need to get back to the base straight away.
Yep.
I think at that point, he thinks is his moment to try and turn her, I think.
Yeah, she's emotional. She's having second thoughts. Come to Alexandria with me.
Yeah. I think he thought that was his moment. I fear he's... I don't think he's right. I don't think she's going to want to go. I don't... although she's not Pope, I think she genuinely is quite happy with that group and what they're doing.
She's got that lifestyle.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Moving over to the Commonwealth then, we see Eugene, Princess, and the King, Ezekiel.
He's still alive. Eugene is still alive.
Yeah, and
still fucking alive. Yep.
And they're clearing the dead with Eugene's good lady. There's basically their punishment, which, again, this is kind of like one of these strange things where you're looking at this and it's like, well, that could seem terrible, but at the same time...
To these guys, they're like, oh, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's like they're doing it in a controlled way. There's soldiers all around the place. and they're clearing housing for the expansion of the Commonwealth, which, again, you're kind of like, wow, okay, so that's interesting that they plan this out. This is clearly something that they're doing. But yeah, they were just clearing the dead. We saw Ezekiel very unwell, and Princess basically says, "Look, they got hospitals, they got doctors here. Get your ass."
I love it. She basically said, "Stop being a dick." Like,
yeah.
I don't have friends that die out of stubbornness or something. That's what she's against. It's, like,
it's a great line. It was a great line. So he goes and sees doctors, it gets arranged, and he comes back with lollipops for everyone, which cracked me up.
I love that.
I got some lollipops! And they gave him like antibiotics and stuff like that, and he claims he was feeling loads better. So
yep.
Yeah, keep our eye on that. Not overly convinced that was the conversation he had with them.
He's one of those ones that I'm kind of like a ticking time bomb. I'm just waiting for him to sacrifice himself, to go, don't worry, sacrifice himself, and we're all going to be crying.
Definitely.
I will be very sad when Ezekiel goes. He's one of those characters I've got a real affection towards.
Yeah, same here, definitely. And the actor seems a great guy as well.
Yeah.
Which, I think is the reason why they've kept him around so long.
Yeah.
So Eugene and they're doing all this stuff, and there's this weird guy called Hornsby. Now Hornsby is claiming he's on their side and he's helping them out.
This is the Muppet in a suit.
That's him, yeah.
Yep.
I've written down here, Hornsby chap seems really dodgy to me. Like he's got political motivations, like he wants to be in charge, and he's going to try and use this lot to lever himself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he's definitely got some motive.
Slimy bastard.
Yeah, this isn't just a guy who's like, oh, new people, we should help everyone. It's a case of, what can you guys do for me?
Yeah. And he even sets up a situation where the Milton, who's like the president of the Commonwealth, or whatever you like to call her, son, who, by the way, is a complete intolerable brat, like one of the characters out of, the New World, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
He actually sets it up so he's in danger, and sets it up so Eugene's going to save him. Now, Eugene does save him, but because he's such an insufferable brat, he annoys Eugene to the point Eugene punches him in the face. My actual note here is Eugene punching a brat, Milton's son in brackets, because obviously we learn that later on.
Yeah.
And I've written, Eugene actually comes across as a badass in this environment. This is ridiculous. Imagine if Rick showed up.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Can you imagine?
If Eugene, compared to this lot, looks like some apocalypse badass, yeah, Rick and, Daryl or any of that lot in this situation they'd probably not let them in.
No, yeah, you're a bit much, actually, yeah.
Yeah, you are too far gone. So what's your thoughts on that whole President Milton's son thing?
What a dweeb. Like, the way he has it go, look what you've done, you've ruined her dress. And it's like, she was about to get bitten. Yeah.
No, I'm with
you. And I do seem like it was a bit of a setup to try and get these guys kind of elevated a bit.
Well, that was what Hornsby said to him in the jail cell. He literally told him, I set that up, and now you've punched him in the face. So we've gone from you being the saviour of her son to you being the guy who's assaulted her son.
Yeah,
so
it's like, oopsie.
He's like, the only thing you can do now to dig yourself out of this hole is to tell me where Alexandria is, or to tell me where your settlement is. I don't know about you, man, but that feels like that's been his motivation the whole time.
Yeah, like, I've got no
idea why.
I can't take over this place, maybe I can take over that place.
Yeah, I don't know, or if it's that, or whether he needs numbers, so he needs new people. I don't know. There's something about that guy that's just slimy and slippery.
Yeah.
Eugene's girlfriend, quote unquote, seems to trust him, and me and you are still not entirely convinced on her.
Yeah, there's something there I'm still not quite.
Yeah, so the other story that's developing there is Yumiko, who we both said they've clearly liked her in the interviews, liked her background, and they want to groom her for, high office, because the way she got that letter and the way that guy was like, get out, I don't need to talk to you, and she showed him the letter and he was like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Your
like,
Majesty.
saluting.
Yeah, what?
And when she has that conversation with Hornsby, Hornsby is like, I'm doing all this for your friends, so you'll owe me a favour. It's kind of like Hornsby realises that she's being shot straight to the top, and so he wants to be owed one by someone who's going to be high up.
Yeah.
It's very odd. It's like such an intriguing... The thing they've added to the show by bringing in the Commonwealth in the way they're doing it is like a political intrigue element, which this has never had before.
Yeah, that is very true.
And it is intriguing. Like, I am sat trying to map it out in my brain. Like, I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know, quite nice. We still didn't get to meet Milton, which I was kind of gutted about. I was looking forward to Yumiko meeting and having a conversation.
Yeah. But then they steal her brother instead.
Yeah, which was done by Hornsby, almost like just to to have a chat with her, don't you think?
Yeah.
Because she came storming to see him, and that was when he was able to lay the, hey, you'll be home soon, and just from me helping you out, I'd like to be owed a favour.
Yeah.
That I found quite interesting. That that seemed to be why he did it. But that would also suggest he has a lot of influence over the soldiers, the police that are there.
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe he was like the head of that.
Yeah.
Is that his sector, so to speak, to look after?
Which, if that is the case, then he must already wield a lot of power.
But not enough.
Clearly not enough. But yeah, so that's the situation. Yumiko's brother, for me, is such an interesting one, because that guy almost appears afraid of them learning he's a doctor.
He is terrified.
Yeah, what is that?
Is this like
about?
Alexandria, where you can only have one doctor alive at a time?
That's a fair point.
And he's realised that's what happens, and he's like, "No, not me. No." This
is the apocalypse, and basically there can be only one when it comes to doctors. Man, you've hit the nail on the head. That's what it is.
Yeah, he's seen what happens. He's like, last time a new doctor came in, the old doctor got bitten, so I'm good.
Yeah, no, I ain't playing that game. Yeah, no, well, yeah. I mean, that's as good an explanation as any. But in terms of the story context, I hope we dive into that. I hope we kind of learn a little bit, because she's trying to ask him questions like, are there things I should know about this place and everything? He's like, no, it's great. But then, why would he be so terrified of being? He's trying to give some sort of, for my money, kind of bull crap. Oh, I hated that life. I really didn't enjoy it.
And she's like, but you loved it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I can understand. If he was like this high-paid surgeon or whatever, high-pressure environment all the time, and now the world fell apart and now all he has to do is bake cakes, I can understand that he's like, no, this is nice. I don't have any pressure. No one's looking to me. This is good. But there seems to be something more. That he said that, but there seems to be a kind of like... It's the way he's like, don't tell anyone. It's like he wouldn't have a choice. It's like the minute they found that out, that would be it. He wouldn't be allowed to just keep doing the job he's doing. They would drag him off somewhere.
Yeah, very much. And then when they got kidnapped, I was like, oh, someone overheard.
Yeah, that was my thinking as well.
Yumiko messed up, they overheard, she's lost her brother.
Yeah, so again, there's something else to keep an eye out. But moving on from that then, we are now going to focus in on Negan and Maggie. I'm just going to read you my note for this, because I think you'll like it. Negan's talking to Maggie. They're looking to weaponize the walkers, ? Then I've put, Negan's now teaching Maggie whisperer war tactics, building a herd.
Where the hell did they get the masks from?
He made them. He said he kept his, and then he went off with a knife to get them the others, and Maggie said, just nobody I know. You need to find strangers.
Okay, that makes more sense. I must have missed that a little bit.
Because she said, it needs to be 4 strangers, and he said, no, 3, because I kept mine for sentimental reasons.
I definitely missed that bit. Yeah.
No, that was, he's...
I was probably having a sneezing fit at that point.
Yeah. Oh, buddy.
But yeah, no, I loved it, like, the whole... It's like, wait a minute, they've gone, like... Because obviously Maggie didn't witness the Whisperers.
No,
she's missed all of that. And we've seen what the Whisperers can do, and Negan's just like, this mask doesn't work, it's crap. Well, to be fair, it was made for someone else.
It was somebody else's face. It's like, oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, brilliant.
He's basically training her how to herd the walkers, and they set up like a little pen with rope in amongst the trees, and she's walking around gathering as many as she can, so she learns.
And he's just sat there next to the fire with that smile on his face, and you think, I'm the psycho.
And it's kind of... Yeah, it's messed up in a kind of gloriously wonderful way that they're actually using the Whisperer battle tactics as a kind of way to fight their own war, you know. And what I find messed up about this, of course, is we, you know, as the good guys, in air quotes, have kind of looked at what the Whisperers did is, oh, they're savage, just bang out of order, you know, that's awful, how could they do that?
And now
now we're doing it.
We now have the priest walking along with someone else's face on. Yeah, with Negan, and
there was the scene. I mean, they've gathered quite a herd. By the end of the episode, they've managed to put together a serious herd.
Yeah.
And there's the moment, because they've talked about it a few times about him looking for his sister, because his sister was killed by the Reapers. And they're walking, and he looks left, and she's there in the herd. And I thought, oh no, if this guy breaks or cries, he's going to get munched, and that's, you know, this is going to be a nightmare. So Maggie just like holds his hand for a moment to try and help him compose himself. But that can't be good. That can't be easy.
That's not a situation you'd like to be in at any point. Yeah.
No, it's bad enough that you're literally at the front of a herd of walkers where if you so much as sneeze, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you suddenly get allergy season, you're like, so they are full on Whisperer war tactic, marching on the Reapers with a herd. Very intriguing to see how that goes. Hopefully that's a bit of a climactic.
Can you imagine, like, whatever happens there, they get back to the rest of the group, and she's like, Negan taught me how to do this thing, and they're all just sat there like horrified at Maggie, like, you did what?
Yeah, but I got the food.
You're aware how many of our people died because of people that did okay.
Yeah, oopsie. I mean, the funny thing is like I saw in the write up for the episode, it says like Negan teaches Maggie a new battle tactic or survival tactic. And I was kind of like, oh no, what's that going to be? It's going to be something bad from his Saviour days. But no, it was full on Whisperer warfare.
It was not what I expected.
No, not what I expected at all. But yeah, he was, and we're going to see the results next week, I think. But the thing I wanted to end the episode or show on was the conversation between Maggie and Negan.
Yeah.
He kind of congratulated her on learning what she was doing so quickly. And they obviously a bit of a truce. And we finally kind of had him air his side, his opinion of things.
Yeah.
Which is something we've talked about. You know, the radar station, he actually talks about it. He actually talks about the fact that, you know, you went in there and you killed everyone. And Maggie was kind of like, yeah, well, you know, there were no women and children there. And he's like, well,
where did
what
Gracie
about
come
Gracie?
from? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, bang on. And you could see her face. He's like, what? You did think I didn't know about that?
Yeah.
You know, Aaron's daughter is Gracie. You think that these people didn't have family, didn't have friends, didn't have loved ones back at, you know, that looked to me. Why didn't I protect them? I mean, I was just fascinated by that kind of, that interaction, because he was trying to say to her, like, I understand what it is to lose people and to be responsible. And she's like, oh, very different, you know, you're so different. But then he starts laying it out and it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, no, you killed really people that had boyfriends and girlfriends and children. Yeah. I killed someone that had a girlfriend. Yeah. Where's the difference?
Yeah, and that's it. But the thing, I think the line that I love the most is the line which I think kind of shook everything to its core, was, if I had my time again, I'd do things differently. And you could see she was kind of like, Negan's changed. Yeah. This is good. This is a good thing. And he's like, I'd have killed you all. And she's like, why would you say that? And again, and I'm kind of like, because he's being honest, and he says it himself. He says, because the only way me and you are going to have any kind of, you know, relationship in any sense to be around each other is if if I'm honest.
Yeah.
If you can look at me and know that everything I'm saying to you is not bullshit, you know, not kind of, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not going to sugarcoat things, and you can trust that, then we can have, you know, we don't need to be friends. We don't need to be best mates. We can just be in a community and work together when we need to.
Yeah.
But we don't need to be hating each other. And again, and I know I've said this a few times, it's kind of like in this situation, you're kind of like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, he's right in what he said. He lost that war and he lost all of those people because on that night, he let Rick live.
Yeah.
In reality, that's kind of where we're at. You know, he could have killed all the others and everything, but Rick being alive was probably the one. And Rick even told him, he's like, you're dead. You know, one day I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow. You know, even now. And when they went into Alexandria and he had Carl with like Lucille, and he was like, you may kill my son right in front of me, you may smash his brains out, you can cut off my hands, but it doesn't matter, you're dead. You're already dead. And again, Negan was like, what?
This guy's a nutter. Yet somehow didn't ever kill him. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just kind of, you kind of look at all of that, and from Negan's point of view, it's like, if I'm looking back over this, that was my mistake. Like, I was looking after all of those people,
yeah,
all of that community, and all of those people died because of my decisions. So if I had to make the decisions again, that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
Now, from Maggie's point of view, she's obviously hoping to hear, I'd have made peace, we'd have worked together, you know. But
yeah, she said, why would you say that to me? Why would you say that to me? Because it's true.
Yeah. And he kind of makes the point of, you know, we're fighting over resources, we're fighting over this, and it's only getting scarcer. There's less people to fight for and against. There's less things to fight for. And his points, again, are all very valid. And but that conversation for me was great. I love the fact that it's a conversation that fans have had for a good few years. You know, that attack, because that attack on the radar station, you know, Daryl killed, I think Negan described them as the prick brigade on the motorbikes.
Yeah.
But you're looking at 50 to 60 saviors killed when Negan kills 2 Alexandrians.
Oh yeah, it's not,
and it would have only been 1 if not for Daryl. Because that's the other thing. That is, and it didn't get said. And I would have loved him to have gone there. Which is, I was going to kill one of you, and I killed one of you. You'd killed 50 to 60 of my guys.
Yeah.
The only reason why you don't have your husband is because Daryl jumped me.
Yeah.
He said, "No, I'm not blaming Daryl. This is on me." But my point is, that was what had happened that night. Now you're sat there, and if Glenn was still here or whatever was, you know, whoever, are you telling me that when you look at those numbers, it's fair? I just love that to have been put to her. You know, kind of like, you're telling me that if that had happened how it should have happened that night, I'd killed one of you and the rest of you just gone okay. You'd have gone and got the treatment you needed because you were unwell. Glenn would have been by your side. Are you telling me that, you know, that wouldn't have been a fair deal considering how many of my people you killed? And it just would have been interesting to hear her comeback to that. If there would have been, I mean, it was interesting to see the look on her face when he said he would have killed all of you.
Well,
anyway. But yeah, I loved it though. I loved that conversation happened. I thought the episode as a whole was good. It moved everything forward. It's kept us kind of right up to date with all the thing. And going into episode 8, so the conclusion of 11A.
Yep.
We're kind of like, oh, here we go. This is going to be big. I mean, like the final scene's literally the herd walking towards this place where
they're ripping the door down. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the finale, man.
I've seen where it's already come out in America. I can see the IMDb score for the episode.
Yeah,
it's going to be good.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I hope there's going to be a lot happening. Of course, because it's out in America, I've got to avoid spoilers for a week. But
that's the fun part, isn't it? Yeah. There's enough things
but
online I'm trying to avoid spoilers for at the moment. I didn't need this as well.
Oh yeah, constantly. Yeah, but anyway, so that is it. That is our show. Thank you very much for listening. We will be back next Wednesday for the episode 8 review and the Walking Dead season 11 part A kind of overview.
Yeah.
Walking Dead Wednesdays, as I said, will keep running with the World Beyond. But everyone, especially you, mate, because you're unwell, take care. We'll be back next week.
Yeah, I'm going back to bed.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.